Hey guys, another week, another video. It's been a while actually. It's been a busy summer. We've been on the road working, and I finally got my hands on the much anticipated Humminbird Mega Live. So I got the new transducer here. I got it mounted on a Geiger Tech universal mount. And I wanted, before I talk to you about this unit, I wanted to spend at least 3 or 4 days, and I've got 4 days now on the water. I've played with all the settings, and I'm pretty confident I can give you my own personal assessment of it. I have fished with the 2 other brands of lives as well, so I know kind of what I'm comparing it to. So let's just go through it. So the mount here, this is the Geiger Tech mount. This is a universal mount, base mount that you can mount anywhere in your boat, really. I personally, from using it both ways, don't want it mounted to my trolling motor because of this. When you spot lock on your trolling motor, it forces your unit, your live transducer, to face the way your wind is blowing your boat. So you're really handcuffed. I find that having it on a mount, like a pole, that you can move around independently of spot lock is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to allow you to pan the entire area around the boat while you're spot locked. The other thing is, it doesn't force you to take control of your boat. Try to keep your boat in position. Try to pan at the same time. The trolling motor is out of the equation. Just like now I'm spot locked, I don't have to worry about it. If I wanted to show you the transducer, I'd have to have the trolling motor out of the water. So this is the best system. So it's pretty simple. You loosen one here, a couple turns, you loosen the base a couple turns. I can basically pick this thing up and put it into the water, and then you just lock it down. The nice thing is, with the Geiger Tech, you can pretty much mount it and lock it in really quickly. Okay, that's a simple way to do it. No matter what kind of boat you have, bass boat, walleye boat, this is the Yarcraft I've got it mounted in, pretty simple. The other thing I'll tell you about it is the software in this is continually getting better. I've had it for literally a week and a half now, and there's been one update since then, but every time they're updating this thing, it's just like updating apps on a phone. Because there's no box for this unit, this transducer runs basically by plugging it to power and your Ethernet, and that's it. Super simple to do, super simple to install, and I've run it 2 ways. I've run it using the power from my cranking battery. I've fished with it with my motor running, with my other electronics on, and now I've got it rigged to an independent battery that is just for the Mega Live. And it's pretty much the same. It's a little clearer on the independent battery, but overall, I was really happy both ways. So you don't have to go the extra mile to mount this thing and use it. All right, so typical Humminbird, they keep things super, super simple, and this is no exception. So this is the Mega Live transducer. Everything is built into this, no external box. So whether you want this in forward mode, down mode, or landscape mode, it's super easy. So what they've done is there's a left side mount on the pole, right side mount buttons or clicks, and all you do is, this is in forward mode. If I want it in down mode, click it to there. There's a little mark on the side there that tells you it's in down mode, but the easiest way to tell is the wire will come straight up the shaft when it's in down mode. When you click it back to forward mode, you can tell the wire's coming out the side and it's shooting this way. And then this is what I really love, is this button right here. So you can tell I can grab this, flip that out, and then I can do this and have it in landscape mode that quickly. Okay, you can have it pointing down a little if you want. There's 2 clicking points for landscape mode. That's the ideal one. Or if it's mounted on your troller, you can lay it flat. Super, super simple. And that's just a really smart system, where I've seen other systems, they have like 2 gimbals and you gotta loosen them, or you gotta buy an extra piece. Everything is in one with the Humminbird Mega Live, and I love that. So the settings are pretty easy. When you hit menu, live pinging is on or off. You can shut it off, which is nice to have. Forward, your mode select. You can have it in auto. Okay, so that'll determine which way it's facing based on the transducer. But there's down, forward, and landscape mode. So we're using forward mode right now, and it even gives you a quick update as to tell you how it should be set. Really, really smart and simple. Moving down, the sensitivity. So I had to play a lot with sensitivity on this thing. Sensitivity at between 14 and 17 seemed to work great. This is, if you like a clean image, By bumping the contrast, you'll clean up a lot of the snow, but what I will tell you is you will lose detail. So I like to have it around 6 to 4. That gives me the most detail. Forward range. So it is really good inside of 40 feet. You can stretch this thing out, and this is we're in a current area, so you're seeing a little bit of disturbance, but I like to keep it in that 65 to 60 foot range. And then your downrange, you can put it on auto if you want. I like to manually set it so that you can see here, as I go lower, I'm getting way more detail on that screen. And then the other thing I did was I popped up the range grid, which if you take that off, it looks like this, but by having it, it gives you lines to tell you how far out and how far down the fish are. You know, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet, all the way to the end. Very, very simple system. So the last part about this everybody's gonna ask questions about is how good is Mega Live at tracking your lure. And I'd say it's fairly decent. I think it's gonna get better as the updates come along. Inside of 30 feet, I'm having no problems seeing something small like a blade bait. This is a Keyburn, ½ ounce. When you're using smaller baits, inside that 20-foot range, you've got it spot on. But bigger baits obviously are gonna be easier to see further out. The nice thing about it, it does a good job at distinguishing between smaller fish and larger fish. And overall, I've been really, really happy with it. You know, when you hear that they're not gonna use a processing box and everybody right away assumed it wasn't gonna be as good, I would say you're at no physical disadvantage using the new Mega Live. And the better part is, if you're already networked up through the Humminbird family, it is super easy. The way I've got this system set up is I've got a single unit dedicated to the Live. So all I had to do was put power to that unit and the Ethernet from the Live cable to that unit, and that is it. If you want to share between units, you will need to get the Ethernet expansion hub, which depending how many units you have, you can use one, or you can daisy chain 2 together and then have Mega Live in your system so that it's available like your transducers at every unit in your boat. It just depends how you want to do it. The other nice thing about this system that I have with the GeigerTech universal mount is they also make a bracket that goes on your Canon rails. So if you're a troller, like I'm in a walleye boat here that I also troll with, I can take that Mega Live unit, bring it to the back on that GeigerTech universal mount, face it backwards and watch my riggers or my dipsies or my crankbaits, whatever I'm pulling. It makes the system really easy. So overall, I'm incredibly excited. Now, hopefully you guys have had some good feedback about the unit. I think it's just a matter of time before this thing really changes fishing altogether. I think Live has changed fishing. And I think there's two things I'll say from experiencing it for a few days. One, you don't need it. You're still gonna catch fish without it. But if you're in a competitive situation or you are doing things for a living, I think you're at a marked disadvantage if you don't have it. If you don't have it in certain fisheries, in certain instances, in certain techniques, the guy who has it is gonna stomp you into the ground. So it's not a necessity, it's definitely a luxury, but it has taught me when I have the right bait on, when I have the right color on, when you see fish swim up to your bait and immediately swim away, it helps you determine what the fish are doing really quickly. It's a useful tool. There's no two ways about it. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this. Don't forget to click subscribe. I do these videos as much as I can. It's been a busy summer, but click subscribe so it comes into your feed all the time. It's an easy way to do it. We're gonna do more of these, and I'm gonna have more videos using the Mega Live in all of its glory, as you can say, but I think it's really great. So I hope everybody's doing well, and we'll talk to you soon.